Okay, there is unity. This unity is all that there is. If that quote, if that really like sparks something within you, if you've ever felt this sort of connection to something much, much larger than yourself, then yeah, you're going to want to settle in because this deep dive, I think this one is really specifically for you.
Yeah, and I think it's important to recognize this isn't just some kind of fleeting philosophical thought experiment, right? We're going to be diving into the law of one material today, and specifically looking at the idea of the unity of all things.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so we'll be drawing from, there's a great resource called The Unity of All Things in the Law of One, and also, of course, the core Law of One books themselves as channeled by Ra.
Exactly. And I think it is important for people to know, too, that our guide through this intricate landscape of unity is this entity called Ra, described as a social memory complex.
Right, right.
So think of it, I guess, in essence, as like a group soul, right?
Yeah.
Like a group soul that has evolved to a point where individual identities kind of merge into this shared consciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
And this contact began in January 1981. And it's important to note, I think, that this material, it does emerge from a context that, kind of assumes some familiarity with UFO phenomena.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the foundation of a lot of this,
Yeah,
this material.
absolutely.
Um, but our mission today, precisely, I think, for you, the listener, is to really distill this fundamental principle of unity
Right.
within this law of one framework,
Yeah.
um, and to really understand how this concept serves as the bedrock for what is known as the cosmic web, right?
Yeah.
This interconnectedness of all things.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna unpack this, I think, in a way that offers some genuine insight, hopefully, without overwhelming you
Absolutely.
with too many details.
Yeah, I think that's really the key here.
Yeah.
With a topic as vast as this, it's
Right.
really easy to get lost in the minutia. But I think what we want to do is kind of give a good overview and a foundation. Yeah. To really help people understand this concept,
Absolutely.
which can have such a profound impact on how we view the world and ourselves.
So let's dive into it.
Okay.
The very nature of this unity. When Ross states that you are every being, every emotion, every event, every situation, you are unity. What's the core insight there?
Well, I think the core insight is the assertion of our inherent interconnectedness, right?
Okay.
So the law of one proposes that the one creator, the ultimate source of everything, is experiencing itself in an infinite tapestry of expressions.
Right.
And these seemingly separate entities, including ourselves, right,
Yeah.
aren't truly isolated, but instead are fundamentally linked.
Yeah.
And Rod even uses this analogy of individual cells forming a single complex organism.
Okay, so that's a really great way to frame it. Like the universe is a living, breathing
Yeah.
entity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very powerful way.
It is, and it makes you consider how even the smallest action, the smallest thought that we have might ripple outwards in ways that we don't fully grasp.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think to kind of build on that even further, Ray introduces this concept of fractals.
Okay.
Right. So imagine the creator expressing itself through these infinite repeating patterns.
Okay.
And so each of us, each experience that we have is like one of these fractal patterns.
Right.
It appears as an individual, as a distinct event, yet at its core, it mirrors the structure and essence of the whole.
Okay.
So it's like even your individual struggles and triumphs, right,
Yeah.
aren't just isolated incidents,
Yeah.
but they're actually smaller reflections of the creator's larger journey
Okay.
of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And because of this inherent fractal nature,
Right.
even your seemingly small actions
Yeah.
have universal significance.
So it's not just a collection of like random parts, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's this underlying intelligence.
Yeah.
This constant self-awareness
Right.
to this
So-
cosmic organism.
Yeah, the universe isn't just this kind of inert matter, right?
No.
It's continually aware of itself. It's learning and evolving
Yeah.
through the myriad experiences
Yeah.
of all of its seemingly individual expressions.
Okay, so at the fundamental level, everything is one.
Right,
But yet our daily experience is one of distinct individuals and separate events.
right.
And that's where the idea of the illusion of separation or the
Yeah.
veil comes into play, doesn't it?
Exactly. And I think what's really important to grasp here is that this feeling of separateness that we have
Yeah.
isn't the ultimate reality, according to the law of one.
Right.
The veil is actually described as a constructed illusion.
Okay.
It's a condition that arises within the lower densities of existence,
Okay.
such as our third density reality.
And what's the purpose behind this veil? Why this constructed sense of being separate, if we're all truly just facets of the same whole?
Well, this raises a really important point. The veil, according to the law of one, serves a vital purpose.
Okay.
And that purpose is to enable the development of self-awareness and the full exercise of free will.
Right.
So by experiencing ourselves as distinct entities, as individuals capable of making independent choices, we can learn and evolve in ways that might not be possible if we were constantly aware of our complete unity.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like stepping into a focused role in this grand play, right?
Yeah.
Allowing for a deeper exploration of specific themes.
So it's almost like it's like temporarily narrowing our focus to allow for this more individualized growth.
Right. Exactly.
Even though the broader connection.
Exactly. Right. We're still part of that larger whole.
Yeah.
But the veil allows us to have this unique individual experience.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Rob actually offers this interesting quote. Through seeking, the veil may be lifted in part, revealing glimpses of infinity. So this suggests that while the illusion, the veil, is powerful and pervasive, it's not an impenetrable barrier.
Okay. So as we become more aware of this underlying unity, does the illusion of separation then start to lose its grip on our perception?
Yeah, I think that's a really great point.
Yeah.
And I think the law of one would say that is precisely the case.
Okay.
The more that we consciously remember our interconnectedness, the less power the illusion holds.
Right.
And that allows us to have a richer and more accurate understanding of reality.
Okay, and this makes me kind of curious about what existence is like then when that veil begins to lift. What fundamentally shifts in our experience?
Well, here's where it becomes really compelling.
Okay.
As beings evolve into fourth density, the law of one describes the veil as gradually dissolving.
Okay.
And this triggers profound transformations in how reality is experienced.
Okay, can you give us some examples of those shifts? Like what does that actually look like?
Well, imagine a world where communication transcends spoken language.
Okay.
Where telepathy becomes commonplace.
Okay.
Right? Where knowledge transfer is instantaneous, no longer limited by the constraints of physical media.
Right.
There's a direct awareness of past incarnations.
Okay.
Providing a broader perspective on your current journey.
Yeah.
And the perception of interconnectedness intensifies dramatically.
Okay.
Risen actually says, in fourth density, the veil is lifted, and entities operate in a full awareness of their unity with all things.
That sounds like a totally different way of being.
Yeah, the boundaries that we perceive here in third density, they become far more fluid.
Yeah. So no more secrets, no more misunderstandings.
Right.
Based on incomplete information.
Exactly. Yeah. Communication is clear and direct. And the journey doesn't end there, right? The law of one outlines further densities of existence.
Okay.
So, for example, in sixth density, which is often characterized by this balance of love and wisdom, positively oriented beings, they actually evolve into unified social memory complexes.
Okay.
So this is an even deeper integration than individual entities, right?
Right. Yeah.
So imagine like a group where individual thoughts and feelings are instantly known and perfectly aligned towards a common purpose.
Yeah.
Eliminating any possibility of conflict or misunderstanding. That's kind of a glimpse into the profound unity of a sixth density social memory complex.
So it's like this continuous process of remembering and returning to the source. Right.
Exactly.
And this naturally leads, I think, to the question of how we're connected across these vast distances and different levels of reality.
Yeah.
And that's where this concept of the cosmic web, I think, really comes into focus, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how the law of one describes this interdimensional and energetic connection.
Yeah.
Ra explains that all consciousness is is intricately linked through a dynamic network of intelligent energy.
Okay.
And this is what they call the cosmic web.
Okay.
And this web exists beyond our linear perception of time and space.
Okay, and an intelligent energy web.
Yeah.
It sounds incredibly vast and complex.
It is. It's beyond our comprehension, really.
Yeah, so how do beings at different densities interact through this cosmic web?
Well, they interact through subtle yet powerful means, so
Wow.
things like vibrational frequencies,
Okay.
telepathic resonance, and shared fields of consciousness.
So it's like an ever-present interdimensional
Yes.
network of unity that's constantly
It's constantly active.
active.
Yeah, even if our third density awareness typically doesn't perceive it directly.
Okay, so even though our physical world appears so solid,
Right.
and we experience ourselves as separate individuals,
Yeah.
there's this fundamental energetic connection happening, like beneath the surface.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really the point, is that the apparent rigidity of our physical reality
Yeah.
and the sense of isolation that we sometimes feel in third density
Right.
are in essence part of the illusion created by the veil.
Right.
At higher levels of consciousness, this interconnectedness becomes far more evident
Yeah.
and effortless to perceive.
Now, this cosmic web, it must have some fundamental forces, right?
Right.
They kind of hold it together, that give it structure.
Yeah.
And that's where love and light enter the picture, don't they?
Absolutely.
As these sort of core principles.
Yeah, within the law of one framework, love and light are described as the primary foundational forces that not only sustain all of creation,
Right.
but also actively maintain this underlying unity.
Okay, so let's kind of break that down. So
Okay.
so love is described as like the unifying force.
Yes, love, also known as the second distortion of the law of one,
Okay.
is the essential force that binds all things together.
Okay.
It's the very essence of connection, the cosmic glue, you could say,
Right.
that underpins all of existence.
And then light is kind of the
Yeah.
other key component.
Light, or intelligent energy, is understood as the manifestation of love.
Okay.
It's how love expresses itself and shapes the fabric of reality.
Okay.
So you could think of love as the underlying intention,
Okay.
and light as the active principle that brings that intention into being.
Okay.
So light is what creates form and structure.
Okay, so love kind of provides the connection, the why
Yeah.
of unity,
Yeah.
and then light provides the structure, the how it manifests.
Yeah, together they form the very essence of the cosmic web.
Okay.
The medium through which all beings are eternally and intrinsically connected.
Okay, this is all incredibly insightful, but I think for a lot of people it can feel somewhat abstract, right?
Right.
In the context of our everyday lives.
Yeah.
So how can we, as third density beings, navigating this illusion of separation, how can we practically reconnect with this cosmic web
Yeah.
and kind of experience this inherent unity more directly?
Well, I think what's really encouraging is that the law of one emphasizes that this connection isn't something that we need to create. It already exists.
Right.
So reconnection is fundamentally about shifting our awareness
Okay.
and aligning our actions with this underlying truth.
So it's more of like a shift in perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like a change in how we perceive
great, yeah.
and interact with the world.
Yeah, and Ra actually offers this really profound insight. They say each act of love is a step closer to the infinite light of unity.
Okay.
So this suggests that our daily choices, our conscious efforts to act with love, with compassion, with understanding,
Right.
these actually directly strengthen our awareness of this interconnectedness.
Okay, so something as simple as offering a helping hand,
Yeah.
or choosing a kind word,
Yeah.
is actually a way of tuning into this cosmic web.
Exactly, by actively engaging in service to others, by
Right.
acting with empathy and kindness,
Yeah.
we harmonize with the higher densities,
Okay.
where the awareness of unity is more pronounced.
Right.
And this, in turn, facilitates our own spiritual growth
Okay.
and our conscious connection to the cosmic web.
So it's almost like a practical way to begin lifting the veil.
Yeah, exactly.
And in our own experience, And this makes me think about, this concept of wanderers,
Right.
beings from higher densities who choose to incarnate here.
Yeah.
How do they relate to this idea of unity in the cosmic web?
Well, wanderers are fascinating examples of beings that are deeply connected to this unity. They're souls that have evolved beyond the limitations of third density.
Okay.
And they often originate from fourth or even sixth density.
Okay.
And they consciously choose to incarnate here despite the inherent challenges and the density of our reality.
Yeah.
And their primary motivation is service.
Okay.
To radiate love and to act as catalysts for the evolution of consciousness on our planet.
That's an incredible commitment.
It is, and it is.
But they have to navigate the veil of forgetting, right?
Right. That's a crucial aspect of their experience here.
Yeah.
To fully engage with the third density experience and exercise free will, wanderers undergo this forgetting process.
Right.
So they typically don't have conscious access to their past lives
Right.
or their origins in higher densities.
That must be, it must be so disorienting, right?
It is, yeah.
To come here and
Right.
to not know
Right.
like who you truly are.
Right, and that's part of the challenge and the beauty of it
Yeah.
is that they're choosing to come here and to work within the constraints of this veil.
So how can they effectively fulfill their purpose then?
Yeah.
If they've forgotten who they truly are.
Well, even with the forgetting, wanderers carry an inherent energetic resonance
Okay.
with the higher frequencies of love and light that permeate the cosmic web.
Right.
So once the forgetting begins to lift, even partially, they possess this immense capacity to passively radiate or actively broadcast these unifying energies.
Okay.
So fourth and sixth density wanderers in particular can have a profound impact simply through their presence and their unwavering orientation towards service.
So just by embodying love and striving for service,
Yeah.
they're kind of contributing to strengthening the cosmic web and
Exactly.
potentially lifting the veil for others.
Yeah, their very presence can act as a beacon of light
Right.
and love that can help others
Right.
to remember their own connection
Okay.
to the cosmic web.
And the law of one mentions that wanderers upon beginning to awaken to their purpose
Right.
typically have three core functions.
Right.
And the first two are common to most wanderers.
Right.
And then the third is unique to the individual's particular path
Yeah.
and their skills.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's almost like they carry this intrinsic link to that underlying unity,
Right.
even if their conscious memory of it is temporarily.
Yeah, they carry that resonance of
Yeah.
of the higher densities within them.
Now, the law of one also discusses, this idea of polarity,
Right.
the choice between service to self and service to others.
Yeah.
How does this fit within the context of ultimate unity?
That's a very insightful question.
Yeah.
It seems to suggest a fundamental division, right?
Yeah.
But polarity is indeed a central aspect of the third density learning experience.
Okay.
And the law of one doesn't judge either polarity.
Okay.
But it explains that this fundamental choice is essential for growth and self-discovery within our current level of consciousness.
Right.
As Ross states, the law of confusion or free will is utterly paramount in the workings of the infinite creation.
Okay.
And this freedom to choose is fundamental.
Okay, so this divergence in polarity is actually part of the design. Like it's like a mechanism for learning and evolution
Exactly.
within the framework of unity.
It's part of the game.
Okay.
It's part of the experience of third density.
But ultimately the direction is still towards greater unity, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Even with these seemingly opposing paths.
Yeah, and it's here that love, once again, kind of takes center stage.
Right.
Ray consistently emphasizes that love is the ultimate unifying force.
Right.
So every act of love, regardless of one's chosen polarity,
Right.
contributes in some way to the overarching movement towards the infinite light of unity.
Right.
And furthermore, love is described as a potent form of protection against negative influences,
Okay.
highlighting its crucial role in in maintaining harmony within this interconnected cosmic web.
So even amidst the illusion of separation and the spectrum of choices in polarity, love acts as this constant thread.
Exactly.
Right? Like a reminder of.
Yes.
And a pathway back to the fundamental unity.
Yeah, love is the key. It's the bridge that connects us all back to the one.
Yeah, this deep dive has truly illuminated how this concept of unity really underpins the entire framework of the law of one and the cosmic web.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for you, the listener, the key takeaways, I think, are these. At the deepest level, all of existence is unified.
Right.
What we experience as separation is a purposeful, albeit illusory veil.
Right.
The cosmic web is this intricate, energetic network that connects all consciousness across all dimensions.
Across time and space.
Yeah. And love and light are these fundamental forces that not only create but also sustain this interconnected reality.
Yeah, they're the warp and woof of the cosmic web.
Okay, and reconnecting with this inherent unity, it's not some grand esoteric achievement.
Right.
Right. It's about cultivating awareness and embodying love in our
everyday lives
interactions.
Yeah, it's about making choices that are aligned with love and with unity.
And as you continue on your journey, consider this.
Yeah.
If all things are indeed fundamentally one, how does that understanding shift your perception?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it change the way you see the world?
Yeah.
The way you see yourself?
Your own thoughts and feelings and actions?
Yeah, and how those thoughts, feelings, and actions might resonate throughout the entirety of the cosmic web.
It's a question that really invites, I think, ongoing reflection and discovery.
Absolutely. It's a lifelong exploration.
Yeah, absolutely. A truly powerful thought to carry with us, I think. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Into the unity of all things and the foundation of the cosmic web and the spirit of our source material. Go forth, therefore, glorying in the power and in the peace of the one infinite creator.